Hi, I'm Chris Dye. I have an upcoming show at the Bishop Brossart Art Gallery. My show is called Instant Inspiration, and the reason why I named it Instant Inspiration is for a period of 4 years, I off and on, when I had my kids were there, I packed their lunches, their school lunches every day. I packed them into paper bags. And I started out just doing like simple little doodles and simple little drawings and faces, and started posting them on Facebook and Instagram, and ultimately started getting more and more of a following. And because of that, I started showing off a little bit more and started drawing more and adding color. And every day I would write little messages to the kids. I would always put some sort of message, some sort of fun joke, maybe a dad joke here and there. A lot of times I did it based off of the mood they were in. I have some where when the kids woke up in the morning, they were crabby, then they got a crab as their lunch bag. If my daughter at the time, she was going through, she was doing some school play, so I would do thespian themed lunch bags for her. Or if it rained hard, heavy the night before, I would make some sort of undersea type of themed lunch bag. So each one of them were themed off of whatever mood they were in for the day. And I think the reason why I called it instant inspiration was I didn't do them the night before. I didn't do them a week in advance. I didn't just do a whole bunch of them. I kind of did them right then. I'm going to kind of talk for a second, and then I'm going to start kind of doing. But I'm going to ask you guys, give me an animal. Cow. Okay. Cow. Okay. I'm a big fan of Gary Larson from the Far Side Comics. I'm a big fan of Calvin and Hobbes. And I think the reason why I was kind of such a fan of those guys, and the reason why I enjoyed that, was I loved the bringing something that was an inanimate object, or bringing something that didn't have a personality, like a cow or an animal, and giving it human characteristics, giving it human personality. This is definitely a show for all ages. I plan on having a scavenger hunt. So there'll be lists, and you'll be able to go through here and look for specific things. And if I were to say, I'm going to go through and count the number of sea creatures I have. So that may be one of the questions. And if you happen to find more than I did, or you happen to catch me on something I got wrong, you'll get a hand-drawn bag from me as well. So there'll be little giveaways and little things that you can do. The limitation of being able of the lunch bag is it's not a flat sheet of paper. There's definitely limitations to the amount of space I have to work in. So I'm trying to keep everything within not only just a vertical format, because that's the way it's going to be seen at all times, but I have to work in think of the spatial, like if I'm going to be writing a message to them, I kind of got to keep in mind how much space am I leaving for a message. I've drawn all my life. That was something that, like, from a very, very, very early age, everything seemed like a canvas. It was something that I wanted to doodle in, little doodles or little drawings. I was creating flip books in the corners I created a flip book in the corner of a Bible one time, just because there's a lot of pages, and as you're kind of flipping through, you can watch a little guy do somersaults across the bottom of a page. I used to doodle when I would sit in church. I would doodle in class, which didn't always help me. My attention span was definitely focused in sort of one place. Advice to anybody who wants to kind of get into graphic design, or loves to draw, is stick with it. Look at different styles. Over the years, from the times when I was a little kid, when I was growing up, through my teenage years, through my high school, through even as I got older, I would learn from different people how to emulate styles. I would look at like comic books, and I would try and draw figures and characters. I honestly, so as much as it is about like the drawings with these, I go back and kind of laugh at some of the stuff that I wrote on here. Again, in the moment, some of it made sense, some of it was really silly and goofy, but I think that, like, there are people. I mentioned Gary Larson before. I mentioned Bill Watterson, who did Calvin and Hobbes. I think that as much as their artwork was beautiful, I also love their writing. I love the conceptual writing that they did with him. Gary Larson was focused, had one tiny little square a day that he had to be able to tell a story in, and I think that's beautiful. I think that Bill Larson, like, his ability to to tell a story in multiple panes and with, from the standpoint of like youthful naivety, or I love that. And so with some of these, some of them get a little smart, some of them get a little silly, some of them may have been over my kids' heads, but to me, they made me laugh. It was as much making myself laugh as it was about making them and entertaining them. My encouragement to somebody is find that little thing, find something that is just silly enough to stand out. Like, I think my daughter likes drawing in her books, her sketchbooks. But some of the stuff that I love is when she taught me how to make stickers. She taught me to make like a silly little stickers. And those silly little stickers that I was doing was I was just drawing on craft paper and making stickers with masking tape or that packing tape and parchment paper, and I would make little stickers. And because we were doing those, and I showed them to my brother, and he said, "Oh, we should do a book about that." Because I was doing little pieces of food that all were saying, "Eat me." And it was just sort of a silly thing that I was kind of giving to my kids or giving to friends. And I think, those type of things spawn ideas that ultimately had us down a path of something we hadn't expected before. Chris Dye, I have a art show, gallery show coming up October 2nd through the 23rd. October 2nd through the 23rd at the Bishop Brossard Art Gallery. Please come out. I would love to see everybody. I'd love to see faces I've never seen before. I'd love to see if you've seen my stuff on Instagram, Bags by Mr. Dye, and you want to see them in person. Here they are. They'll be here all in one place. That'll be every Sunday for the month of October, the 2nd through the 23rd. Any days outside of that, call for an appointment with Mike Ensweiler.